Thank you for joining me. We are doing the numerology and the astrology for August 30th, 2020. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 15, and if you add the 1 and the 5 together, you get the number 6. The number 6 is about reflection and non-violent reactions. It is your spiritual self trying to redirect your consciousness in ways that support growth and clarity. This number is about learning to be connected and peaceful, open and honest. In the midst of such crisis and insanity in the world, that can be difficult. When you have the willingness to not let the external reality dictate your mood, feelings, and direction, you begin to master this complex emotional world in which we live. It is an essential lesson to learn how to tell the truth. Be reflective, stay true to your core values, and be blatantly honest with what is happening. Listen, wait, hold true to what you value. In the stillness of the number 6 is a message that has waited to be whispered to you until you are ready, quiet, and willing. Today, listen for that message. Let the simplicity and profound nature of that message shift you into a more open and awakened state. The astrology today. The moon goes into the social sign of Aquarius, a day to share with friends or to try something out of your ordinary routine. It's time to boldly go where no man or woman has gone before. Change requires risk, and risk is not a determining factor to your success. You will risk many times in life, and most outcomes will not work the way you intended. The mental side of Mercury will oppose delusional Neptune, making it not the best day to try to have a deep conversation of personal meaning for you. You might find out about someone or something that you would have preferred to not know. What you see is revealed in an unrealistic light, and the discrepancies become even more blazingly obvious. Your mind tends to wander and focus is difficult. It is important that you allow your imagination to explore ways to express in such a time. The images coming in are complex, with the higher forces in other dimensions attempting to penetrate this darkness and the density with a powerful energy to help break you out of this distortion field. The relationship planet Venus opposes the obsessive planet Pluto. Know that you are not seeing things as they really are because of all the intended confusion. Know that you are missing information that is critical to discover before you make any decision. You want to confront things in order to put them neatly in a box, but things are never that simple, and right now, even more so. It should become clear today that some people are holding on to something from their past too tightly. They fear losing it, but they are holding so tight that they do not realize that they are killing it themselves with their fear. I expect confrontations to explode and fears begin to boil over in the streets. There is a total discomfort that is pushing for massive change. You are watching the death throes of a dying bias. A civilization collapsing under the weight of its denial and resistance. An intended, vicious, and targeted manipulation of the minds and conscience of its people to a point that the betrayal is so immense that it can no longer get tolerated. Be careful to not put on airs right now. There will be too many people that misrepresent themselves and overlook the obvious. Do not pull yourself down and do not hold yourself above others. You are learning to transmute karma and step past your own known reality. My quote for today. Today, the birds did not show up to feed. The sky was so smoky they could not even breathe. I missed their sounds. I missed their cries. I imagined the silence if the last one dies. We are looking at a world preparing for death. There are people and places that cannot take a breath. Snakes come into the redwoods that don't belong, sensing that something has gone very wrong. They rattle the warning of something to come. They hear a faltering heartbeat and a deepening drum. The snake calls to the spirits in the dark, to those places that need to have a spark. Something is slithering into this time and place. We are being warned to hold on tight and to brace. Brace for a hurt world to change. A new reality will expand its range. My blog for today. Yesterday, I was walking up to the building that is our shop, a shed type of building, to speak to my husband and his daughter's fiance, Seth, who is helping us with some work inside the building. After saying hello and figuring out some answers to my questions, I left. Outside was a timber rattler. I was shocked because we do not have snakes that are venomous in the redwood forest, usually. At first, I was not sure. I wondered if it was a gopher snake with the coloring, but it had a viper head. I'm from Texas. We notice those things. That's not a good sign. And then the tail. There's that distinct shift at the tip of the tail indicating a rattler. I ran back up to the upper building and told the guys. Seth jumped in his truck to get a shovel, and I ran for a bucket because our intention was to put the snake back in an area that was more appropriate for its survival. But the snake was faster than us and slithered under the building. There was no way any of us were going to go after it there in such a tight spot. Seth said it was about a 10-year-old snake. Normally, we do not have these types of snakes, but it is because it is too moist, cold, and damp in the redwood forest. We live on the ocean side of the mountains, and so we get the rain, the fog, and occasionally the marine layer drifting in and out like a breath every day. But this snake was out of its normal habitat, and it shows the new reality we are living in with climate change. Snake medicine is about transmuting poison. And when a snake crosses your path, or anything crosses your path, it is a message from spirit to pay attention. That metaphor is not lost on me at this moment in time. How are we as a unified whole trying to change such toxicity in this world into something that will not kill us? Snake teaches us that our present state of affairs will require us to move through a passage of discomfort. It shows that we are in a place that is non-productive. We are going to have to shed a skin. As a snake sheds its skin, the tissue, even over the eyes, becomes clouded and the snake cannot see. When a snake is in the shedding process, it is more aggressive, irritable, and dangerous. But if nature is talking to me and to us, what is it saying? I think it reminds us that presently we are all blind to what is in front of us. We are all collectively shedding a skin, and it is uncomfortable. This discomfort is making us irritable, aggressive, and dangerous. Snake recognizes that the death of the body is a molting of the spirit into the next expression of life. Yet snake is a symbol of healing and renewal. She symbolizes a time where we are to transcend personal pain. She teaches how to feel security in the midst of instability. She reminds us that you can renew things without replacing them. She reminds you that life cannot sustain constant trauma indefinitely. Snake tells us to not run from danger, but to turn and face into it, and to stand our ground. She shows us that to dissolve away pain, you must completely confront it. She shows that the basic function of pain is to show the true reality that is beyond our delusional social conventions. Snake is the reminder that you are not just skin and bone. You are conviction itself and an energy that is eternal. Snake teaches that forgetting is not about abandoning the past. It is accepting the reality that all things, no matter how significant they seem now, will fade in meaning and value. Eternity is beyond time, and that is where the medicine of snake exists. When you learn to transmute pain, You have the power to locate and maintain an exquisite tension of joy. Snake gives you the courage to take the journey, and that journey will allow you to stand in a place of no regrets ever again. Thanks, everybody.